Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog! Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001! Because between you and me, they're way past cool!
Hello everybody, Wake Angel 2001 is coming at you with another figure. This is a commission for Andy, and it is Krystal in her Star Fox Assault costume. But she will also have the staff because he wanted the staff as well. So, yeah. It's kind of funny how that staff was so important in Star Fox Adventure, but then after that game was over, they pretty much forgot its existence, huh? Okay, so yes, we are doing Krystal. Anyone who is actually a Patreon supporter of mine will probably remember this image, which is on my Patreon, homepage, showing some figures that I've done in the past, which includes Krystal right next to the Falco figure. So yes, I have made her before, but this was done using the 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures, meaning that she's undersized when you put her next to the 4-inch World of Nintendo figures. So we needed her to be properly 4 inches tall so that she could match scale with World of Nintendo. And the base toy that we chose to use for this is the Vitruvian Hacks blank female body made by Boss Fight Studios. Now this is a really cool action figure body. It's super articulated for its size. And the blue buck actually matches the color of her outfit, which would minimize the painting that I need to do, and have the advantage of, not having to worry about paint peeling in the joints because, that's just the color that the plastic is. I would also make a 3D printed head, which you can see standing right next to the figure right there. The 3D printed head is based off of her model from from Smash Bros. Ultimate, from her assist trophy, as I recall. Although I had Corey send me the head with no hair because I figured her hair would not print well with the printer's resolution, so I would just sculpt the hair on after this. So this Vitruvian Hacks figure. There is a screw on the small of its back so you could undo the hip assembly, but I couldn't really get the hips out of the ball joint, so I saw a little point in that. Really, you just have ball joints that pop out for the hips and the neck, and the, it's not really the hips, it's like the waist or the torso. And she has simple pin discs in her elbows that come out quite easily, although not for the shoulders. Oh well. Now there is one thing. This figure is 4 inches tall when it has a normally proportioned human head. When you put on a cartoon Fox figure's head, all of a sudden she would look too tall standing next to Star Fox, so I had to shorten the figure a little bit by removing about a 1/4 inch of material from her shin. So from one white dot to the other, that's what I cut out. Then I glued them back together and sculpted her little boot detailing on the scar so that you wouldn't really see it too much. So that is how I made sure the figure would be the proper height. The lower torso would also get some more sculpting. I made her little belt things using craft foam, and her belt buckle is hand sculpted, as is her tail. The tail has a core of a toothpick inside of it, but I did make it in sections. Like, first I put on the little nub at the end, then I put on the second ball with a toothpick, then I angled another toothpick slightly differently and put in the third part of her tail. Like, it was a whole process. A whole process that took 3 days to sculpt. Speaking of stuff that needed sculpting, this is what her hair looks like sculpted. It's basically, just following the pattern, like how she looked in the games. Just a bunch of dreads. And if you look inside, you can see where I drilled inside and embedded the ball joint for the original head inside of her head so that it would naturally go onto the neck peg. Yes, you can actually pop her head off quite easily, but, she doesn't have any alternate head, so I'm just saying that. Her collar was also sculpted onto the neck, which is good because this makes her look like, when you put a big cartoon head on top of a normal length human neck, it looks kind of weird. So fortunately, this little collar she has makes her neck look a little thicker and makes her look a little bit more sound. So as you can see, the sculpting was actually not that big a deal, but you can already see I started painting it with the white patch of her fur, which shows out through the neckline, because all future furry space babes have to have some exposed flesh. So up next came the paint job. Like I said, since this Vitruvian Hax figure was already blue, I only had to paint on the lighter blue elements of her costume, and then leave the darker blue elements unpainted. I even broke out my old Look at Me blue, the one that looks like Mr. Meeseeks, to capture that particularly bright shade, because none of my Vallejo paints quite look like this. Although I did use the Vallejos for every other color that wasn't Look at Me blue, because the Vallejos just work better on a smaller scale. So yeah, she has her little white highlights and her blue hair. She has her all of her facial features, her green eyes, that little what do you call that thing that you wrap around your head? Like, it's like a necklace on your head. It's not quite a tiara, a cuirass. I don't know what you call that. And yeah, that was all the things that had to be done. Her staff is actually 3D printed off of the actual in-game model for the staff. The GameCube model, in fact, which I was able to download from Models Resource. So yes, once it was done, unfortunately the model in the game was only available in its partially open state, so it doesn't have that smooth spearhead thing, but you know what, this kind of works for action, because now it's open for when she's throwing fireballs out of it. So yeah, that's every part. So now let's take a look at the completed figure. And yeah, that's it. It's Krystal, our favorite blue, slightly psychic space fox girl, wielding her staff. If you look in the lower left corner of the picture, you can see the spare hands there. I painted them as well. This Vitruvian Hax figure came with swappable hands, one of which has wrists that go in and out, and the other that goes forward and back. As you can see from the way she's holding her staff here, that's thanks to the in and out ones, where the disc is in alignment with the thumb instead of with the palm. Which actually makes staff wielding and sword holding poses much better. Although, if you want to have the other kinds for the more traditional curl articulation that figures normally have, that's an option. But she looks pretty cool wielding her staff with these hands. And of course, wielding the staff is only one thing you can do. If you have a gun with a 3mm port handle, such as this one from Optimus Prime, you can actually have her wield a big old space gun too. A quick comparison with the old Krystal figure I made shows how much taller this one is, and also how much curvier and more voluptuous. The Vitruvian Hax figure is a very detailed figure. Let's say that. I'm not sure if it's showing up in these pictures, but it even has nipple bumps. So yeah, that's a very detailed figure. But as you can see, she now stands perfectly next to the World of Nintendo Star Fox figure. They're pretty much exactly the same height. So yes, that is the great accomplishment. And you know what? Since the Vitruvian Hax figure was made by Boss Fight Studios, why don't we put her next to Jenny from Bucky O'Hare? Yeah, why not? Another furry space sci-fi anime cartoon thing with action figures made by the same studio. Yeah, Jenny was actually on the list of base characters that you could use to make Krystal, but, Jenny is an actual character that people like, and you have a perfectly good blank buck that's made by the same studio to the same build quality, and, you don't have to destroy a character that everybody loves to make whatever you want with it. So yeah, we're gonna go with the blank buck figure. So yes, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you like this figure as much as I do. And I think this is supposed to be International Krystal Month or something like that, I think. I mean, they have, I don't know, they have months for everything. But yeah, like Krystal Appreciation Month, I believe they call it. I'm not sure if that's really a thing here on YouTube, but I don't know. Like, you know where I post. So there's like wherever you find Sonic artists who post, you're gonna find a lot of furries, and the furries have a month for Krystal. So there we go. So yes, thank you all for watching this video, and I will catch you later. This is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.